Hi, there's this, well, in my story, there's this island, I think it's off the coast of New Brunswick. I think that looks like a good place for it to be. But it's owned by the United States. Um, there's an, well, actually, on the outside, there's a town that's Canadian, but inside is a um, army base that's owned by the United States. So it's both Canadian and U.S. territory. Um, and but in order to get to it, there's a road that, well, there's other roads around, but it'd take like hours to get um to get to it. But a lot of times they'll go through a little gravel road that goes up into Canada and to the docks, the port, or whatever it goes. And some people have passes that they can. The regular people that would go that way would have passes that they can on their car that show that they're registered to use that road. That way they don't have to have a passport with them. Well, they do, but they don't have to go through custom checkpoint and stuff, regular checkpoint. And one of the main general, what do you call it? What's the head of the guard? Anyway, the fort has a son named George. And George rides his bike, and maybe he has a scooter. I'm not sure. He's like 9. And it's safe because, I mean, well, either they're in residents of the small towns in the area, or they're military, Canadian or U.S. military. So it's safe for him to go. He could go, like, be gone for 2 days and be safe. Well, he isn't. But there's a little boy in the town in Maine, a little town, um, probably about 750 people, named Toby. And I'm going to tell about one of the stories because it may not have been the first time it happened, but this was a significant time because he wanted Toby to come. Well, it was actually George's birthday, and so he rode to town to get Toby. I don't know how long it takes. Would take, and nobody would because these towns don't even exist. Anyway, um, but it was a ways, on the way back. I said, Toby, did you get your passport by chance? I said, no. I said, oh, don't worry about it. We'll be okay. I could call my dad, but we'll be okay. Anyway, get the border. He was stopped almost there by a sheriff of whatever county, Maine. And, well, Toby kept on getting ahead. That's the problem. And the sheriff in Maine, the sheriff stopped him and said, what are you doing here? Who are you? I'm Toby. Well, are you lost or what's going on? It's our way to Canada. You're going towards Canada. Are you from Canada or United States? And at that time, um, the story is going to be too long. That time, George comes up and said, "He's with me." I said, "Oh, okay, George, let's go. Keep going. Just stay closer to him." Oh, the kid, the Canadian side of the border. There was a long hill, and Toby, um, um, got ahead. Actually, um, Toby got ahead again. He slid off the road. The police officer, Canadian police officer, stopped him and said, "Are you okay? What's going on? Are you okay?" He said, "Yeah." "What are you doing here?" After he made sure he's okay and wiped off his knees, "What are you doing out here? Do you know where you are at?" "Yeah, I'm with George." "George?" And George rides up. "Oh, yeah, I know George." "Okay, keep going. Just stay a little closer to him." "Well, you're on a hill." "It's okay. It's okay. Just don't worry about it. We're good." Um, I'll radio the. Are you going to your house? He says, "Yeah, it's my birthday." "Oh, okay. I'll radio ahead." So he radios ahead. Wow. He's so good at the part. He the dogs. He was started. Toby was riding ahead. He says, "George, we're almost. Toby, we're almost to the port. I need to be with you." Well, Toby rides up to the port, and and they get there on bicycles. Probably not a good, but there's I'm part of the. Well, kind of close to the dock. Little there's a board like a railroad ties that are there, but there's nothing there to stop anybody. But nobody usually goes over there anyway. And Toby and his bicycle go over into the water. She says, "Toby, are you okay?" He's yelling right past the people at the board. Pull him out and say, "What's going on here? George, is he with you?" Said, "Yeah." "Okay, well, that's okay because Sheriff McAllister called ahead. I'm glad. Just be careful, you guys." So they took him over across the port, and I get there, and of course the Canadian people have to meet the boat and make sure everybody's on its right, and they check them. Says George says, "Who's this?" I said, "Toby, who are you?" George says, "He's with me. He's Toby." Well, so they ride on and get to the base. And again, who are you? George says, or this is Toby. He's with me. "Okay, you want me to ride with you?" "No, I want to go." So they went. And there's one more checkpoint because the his family actually lives in uh, I don't even know what to call it, a building on the base that's very secure and has its own checkpoint. So he has to go through again. Again, he says, "George walks and Toby together. Finally, they're together for what last. They're together. Walks in and says, "This is Toby. He's with me." The guards look up and say, "Okay, he's fine." And well, one of the guards actually heard things over the radio all along, and he grabs him and frisks him all over and tickles him. Anyway, they had fun and they put him in handcuffs. Anyway, he goes up to his house. But I'm going to stop there. Toby got in because of who his friend was, because of George. George got in because of his father. They knew George. George would go all over the area. But who are you? Who am I? We're a child of the king. And the most important part is going to be shortest because I don't know. What would happen if we went along? If we went through life with who we are, with boldness, with confidence. I know a story of someone that went into the back of Hollywood backstage of Hollywood because he was confident. If you're not confident, people will ask you. And if Toby had been with George all along, everybody would have figured it out. So we need to stick by Jesus' side. Jesus, we are children of God. Jesus is our Savior. If we stay by Jesus' side and walk as we are children of God, what could we do? What could we accomplish? What could we accomplish with others? Because when we're going along through life, we have to say, oh, yeah, that's Toby. He's with me. And people know who we're with because obviously we're with Jesus because they know we're all over. We're open about that. So if I'm with Jesus and Toby was with me, I can go. Toby can go anywhere. Toby can go anywhere. What would happen if we lived that way? As simple as George and Toby riding their bikes through the back roads of Nova Scotia and Maine, knowing that if they're stopped, they'll be okay because of who they are. What would happen if we treated others that way? If we treat others that way, knowing, I'm with Jesus. And if Jesus is with me, I can say, you know what? That's Toby. He's with me. We can go with that confidence, that childhood confidence, knowing Toby's with me. And we're both okay because I'm with Jesus. Sorry, it's too long.